So, thank you very much for joining us, Zelda.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a very basic question. So, why did you decide to run for Director of Wellbeing?
So, at my time at university, I struggled with mental health problems. I struggled with accessibility. And so I really wanted to get involved in lots of different activities that I was like, okay, well, I can help other people. So I joined Sexpression, got consent, and I became Association LGBT+ officer this year.
Okay.
And I loved the work that I was doing so much that I wanted to do it for a full year. Because my degree, I love it, but I wanted to help people and do more of the work that I'm passionate about. So this year I was really thankful I went out and helped with the Out of Hours campaign and did work on helping with discrimination and then sexual harassment. I was like, okay, if this is what you can do when you're a full-time student, imagine what you can do with all of this, and you can help people and you can get to know people's stories and amplify their voices as well so that everyone can really thrive in this town.
Yeah, lovely. So for a layman like myself who maybe doesn't know what societies or organisations like Sexpression do, could you just explain why you think your experience in those sorts of environments suits you to the Director of Wellbeing?
Yeah, so Sexpression is a UK-based charity that seeks to empower young people by teaching them healthy relationships, consent, and stuff about it's sex ed basically.
Yeah, okay.
And so I became both a member of our the national charities committee, and then was a volunteer within our local branch as well. And particularly with that, a couple of points in my manifesto are about sexual health, like starting a gut protection campaign so people know where to get contraception and how to get STI tested and where to do it, as well as consent and basic things regarding sexual health. And so I think with Sexpression, my experience is pretty good in that realm. But then other things like Saints LGBT+, we run welfare and social events. People have come to our social events, but behind the scenes, we started a version of peer support for queer students this year. We working on drop-in sessions. We do clothing drives. So especially with Saints LGBT+, I got to sit on councils. The other candidates, they have a lot of really great experience, but I have experience sitting on councils. I know how to write a motion and make sure that the message that is being putting forward in these motions are getting things done. And council is so confusing. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knows what we really do. And coming into the role last year as Association LGBT+ officer, I sat down. I was like, "What is going on? How do I do anything? Is this just going to be long meetings?" But I learned the system, and I think I know how to use it pretty well. I've passed a few motions, and it's nice. And I want to make sure that councils is accessible. I know what needs to be done. I think there needs to be more members. I think we need to publicize it better. I think we need to make the meetings themselves more accessible to students. We also just need to tell people hey, this is what we're doing. So it's not just, oh yeah, we've changed the laws and now this is how things are running around in the union, but nobody knows that.
Yeah, okay. So again, from my own personal experience, this is all a world apart from my view. So then there are plenty of students like me, I imagine. So do you have something that you can offer, people who didn't get involved in Sexpression or maybe don't keep up with Saints LGBT+? Would you just have, points?
Oh.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Words are hard.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the best way to word it. Do you think you have attractiveness? But that's not the word.
Maybe not, yeah.
An appeal. Yeah, so do you think you can appeal to students who maybe weren't involved in similar ways
Yeah.
that you were?
I do think that I could. I'm usually out doing things. I basically live in this building, so a lot of people have probably seen me either just like vaguely stressed trying to get a deadline out. But in terms of policy, I think a lot of my policy is not like super specialized, being like, okay, well, if you're like really keen for sexual health, we have everything for you. No, it's policy that is applicable to everyone. So a big thing that I want to do is work on mental health in St. Andrews. Everybody, like, student life is stressful, and everyone has mental well-being, and depends on where you're at with it. But student services, like, the waiting times there are ridiculously long, and sometimes the services that are given to people aren't always up to par. So by putting in online feedback forms, working with student services to cut down on these waiting times, be it through expanding schemes like peer support, which offers one-on-one support from people who are your peers, but also lobbying for like a mental health crisis team in Fife that is dedicated to ensuring that if there is an urgent issue, like middle of the night or on the weekends, people can get help. Like, we should be addressing problems before they become big issues. Stuff like that, and this community building. So we're all here together, and we should celebrate the fact that we are all diverse and different. And yes, some of my policies involve, like, okay, well, if we get more people involved in the union, then we can spread it out. But other ones, like running more events in the afternoon, encouraging societies to do that so that students who are commuters or lifelong mature students, postgrads, or just somebody who has like really busy evenings and always in meetings, they can they can go to events.
Like yourself, I imagine. But...
Oh God, yeah. No, but I think a lot of my manifesto is for everyone, and I hope that like comes across.
Yeah, of course, of course. And what I'm quite curious to know, I'm being a bit cheeky here, but do you think that the current Director of Wellbeing has done anything particularly wrong or particularly fantastic that needs to be highlighted? Or
I think, well, I worked with Nick for the Out of Hours campaign, and I think that was something that was very important. Like, town and gown relations can be a bit iffy sometimes. I think that's the best way to put it. But this was an issue that really united us together. And I think Nick did a really good job in doing that. However...
Anything he didn't do as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that go on in the union, and one of them is equal opportunities. And that committee, not a lot happened with it this year. And that's something that we should be talking about is, okay, how are we going to make St. Andrews accessible for people who are disabled, making sure it's equal for people of all genders? How are we going to target like racial discrimination and people just being shitty to people who are lifelong learners? And the committee didn't do much with that. I really think that that's something that we need to strengthen. We need to do more, and we need to engage with these different populations. It's really about like doing more, getting out there, and making sure that some of the campaign promises that like Nick has implemented, they are just taking a long time to be put in place. And yes, that happens, but we need to make sure that we let people know that those are still going on.
Okay, so I think this is the last thing I wanted to ask you. Right. But for someone like myself who's quite apathetic about student elections, if you could condense, why you're running, why you're a good candidate into a few sentences, what would they be?
Oh, okay, good question. I need to like sit down, introspective view. I think I bring to the table a lot of experience and a lot of meaningful connections with, be it university or the town. And I think because of that, and just this drive, my ultimate goal in life is I want to help people. And I've tried to make decisions about like what I'm doing in order to ensure that everyone is on an equal like standing point.
Yeah.
And I think like this town has given me so much. And I think it's only fair that I start to give. I feel like I've given some, but I could give. It's like you can always give more. But no, I have strong things about community, mental health, general well-being, making sure that this university is accessible, and also that we are holding the union accountable.
Yeah.